Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahabhiryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Namah Shri Shankarananda Guru Padambujanmane Savilasa Mahamoha Graha Grasaika Karmane Tatpadamburuhadvandva Seva Nirmala Chetasam Sukhabodhaya Tattvasya Vivekoyam Vidhiyate. We saw Shravanam and what comes after that? Mananam. So, Tabhyam Nirvichikitse Arthe. So, Nirvichikitse means a doubtless mind. Usually the mind is what? Doubtful, full of doubts. So, doubtless mind. Nirvichikitse Arthe. The artha of the Upanishad, the meaning of the Upanishad, the meaning of the Mahavakya is well ascertained without a shadow of doubt. That is what is called Nirvichikitse Arthe. Doubt has no place in the assimilation of knowledge. In the process of assimilation, yes, there are doubts and there will be doubts. They are not only entertained but they are answered in different ingenious ways by the Shastra. And then if one is wondering, will these doubts always be there? The 54th verse makes it clear it's not always going to be there. There will come a time where the doubts upashanta, they are all shantaha. Shantaha means what? They are completely tranquil. The doubts are eliminated. The mind is shanta because there is no more the doubt. What is it that I am pursuing? Let me think. No. Should I pursue moksha or samsara? That doubt will not be there. And also with regard to moksha itself, how should I pursue moksha? Will mystical experiences give me moksha? Or will going to Starbucks give me moksha? What will happen if you go to Starbucks? Mocha, that's all. Yeah, espresso you can have. But how will I get moksha? What is moksha? How will I get moksha? Why do I need to want moksha? All these doubts should be entertained when? During the course of the study. So, Mananam is not some process like Shravanam. It's a lifelong process until the doubts are resolved. And as we mentioned, the doubts are of two kinds. What are they? Centered on Pramana, centered on Prameya. Pramana means, why should this only be the means of knowledge? Why should this be the only way to do this? Why is Vedanta, why are the words of the Shastra a means of knowledge? Why are the words of the Guru a means of knowledge? Why can't I just sit and intuit it? I have intuition. I can tell which day jalebis are made in the ashram. And I have guessed it and I am always correct. So why can't I just guess? I am a samsari. This could be guesswork. This could be intuition. Why can't I write my own Upanishad? Why should I have to study some other Ashvalayana Rishi's Upanishad or some other Rishi's Upanishad channeled by some Rishi? So all these doubts, there will come a time where these doubts, what happens to them? They just go away. Why? Because the knowledge, the jnana phalam is there. Shravana phala is there. Jnana phalam means what? The assimilation of the knowledge itself removes a lot of the doubts. And the more clarity I get, the more doubts they just go sit down somewhere. They don't they don't raise their heads. They don't rear their heads. And so there will come a time, tabhyam, shravanamananabhyam, what? Nirvichikitse arthe. And then what happens after having made the Shastra threadbare? Like I said, there is a lot of freedom in Vedic hermeneutics. That's why from the same Veda, same Vedanta, we have primarily 3 streams of interpretation. That is where I had stopped yesterday, and we'll pick up from here itself. 3 streams of interpretations. What are they? Dvaita. God and I are different. Ishvara is there, where? In a place called heaven. This is not some other religion. This is our own religion. Yes, this is our own tradition. God is there and Ishvara is there, and then where? Somewhere called heaven. In a place where it is some kind of a heaven full of cows, and Krishna is playing the flute. And then what do I want badly? I want to become one with Krishna. Okay, become one with Krishna. Not possible in this body, full of filth and full of raga, dvesha. The mind is full of filth, body is full of filth. What is Krishna? All pure. And so what do I have to do? Put this body on the funeral pyre. Not now, but at the end of the life. Only then I can reach to that place. After having done a lot of good karma, then I will reach to that place. I'll reach that place and then enjoy a dance. With who? And all the other teeming millions who have made it. Okay, yeah. So it's a dance with sticks. Click, clack, you go around in a circle. You can do that right here. During Deepavali, Navaratri, you can do that right here. Why do you have to go there to do this? No, Krishna will be there. That's the idea. This is Dvaita Mata. Then we have, yesterday we talked about this. What is that? Qualified dualism. Meaning, you are an adjective to God. You are a qualification, you qualify Bhagavan, you are adjectival to Bhagavan. And talking about this, Pujya Swamiji would have so many opinions. He would say, at least before you began the spiritual quest, you were a noun. Now you have been reduced to what? Adjective. A mere qualifier of something or somebody else. Ridiculous. Ridiculous it is. And so therefore what? So this, what does this say? This talks about, actually both of them talk about 4 kinds of moksha. Even one kind to pursue, look at the trouble we are having, how difficult it is, how easy it is to go into jivatvam, jivaness, how easy it is to live in jivaness, and how any passing challenge comes, what happens? Go back to jivahood. This is how, this is our MO. What is MO? Modus operandi. Yes. This is our go-to. And so, even one kind of moksha is difficult to deal with, but 4 kinds of moksha are offered on different gradations. What are they? First is Sannidhyam. Sannidhyam means going and sitting near God. When? Don't forget that. That's a very important point. Not now. There is no Jivan Mukti in either of these things. That would be laughable for them. Here you can be a good person. You can be a dharmic person. That's about it. You are not a free person. Freedom only comes after you have discarded this body, and then you will, if you have done the right things, you will enjoy one of these kinds of moksha. What is the first one? Sannidhyam, sitting in front of God. How long can you sit? Tell me. After a while you will get bored. All right. Because then naturally the mind will go, or kaun aaya hai, who else is here? Then you recognize somebody. Who? Mafia kingpin, okay? How did he make it? Oh my God, I was vegetarian for all my life for no reason. No onion, no garlic, no fun. And then here, and here I was, not telling a lie, not cheating anybody, not going here, not going there, and just, eating bland food all the time. And here what? This fellow who has done every single thing. By daytime he had some kind of a business. And then by night time, what all he did, don't even ask. He had a transport business. During the day, there was one such fellow who about 15 years ago, who is behind bars. Some kind of a transport company, just for the namesake. And then at night, it was just all kinds of things. But he has made it for Sannidhyam. Same thing. What? Without doing any of those things. Naturally, I have to see somebody in heaven right now. How come this person made it and I have done so much? The person who was there said, I have done so much. I even taught, what is that? Harikatha. I sang the glories of the Lord. I told stories of Lord Krishna and I thought somebody, who is this person? I brought many people to God. And the Sevak in heaven says, you didn't bring anybody to God. What? Half the people, you were preaching to the choir. They were already there. And half the people were just, that's why it's like in these temples, they will all be sitting around. And then this person, they are just bored, so they come and they go to sleep in the temple. As soon as the katha, the story of Krishna starts, sleep comes. Yes. And even now, if you think I'm not telling it like it is, or if you think I'm exaggerating, go to the temples, especially in South India. You will see oily head marks all around the wall where the people have leaned and gone to sleep. Generations of people sitting next to the wall. So therefore, what happens? Therefore, you haven't done anything. The heaven Sevak says, you have not done anything. But he brought people to God. Yes, you bet. Because whenever they saw him, everybody said, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, and then went to the temple immediately. Yeah. So this is what? Sannidhyam. And after that, what is there? I forget some of them. Huh? Yeah, no, this is Samipyam. Samipyam is this. Sannidhyam is this. Samipyam is also you're sitting, but you're sitting in the back. You're a backbencher. Yes, Samipyam. You're somewhere in the nearby. Sannidhyam is sitting right in front. After that? Sarupyam and Sayujyam. So Sarupyam means you sit there and you start to look more and more like God. You have the same qualities and you have something like that, all that. Like I said, I'm not good with these things. Then finally, Sayujyam, you enter Bhagavan. How are you going to enter Bhagavan if you are separate? And unless you are some kind of this is again, Pujya Swamiji would say this. What would he say? Unless you are a virus, you can enter Bhagavan. Bhagavan will have to take cough and cold medicine to flush you out. This is what will happen. So these 4 kinds of mokshas and all these things. So this is just for fun. And we have, what is that? And then we have Advaita. See, Dvaita is not wrong, because that's where everybody is. Vishishta Advaita is also very beautiful. It has very good poetry, very good philosophy, both of them. Both those stations are necessary. Why? To cultivate that love, that bhakti. Parama prema swarupa bhakti. That is what it is. What is bhakti other than the ultimate form of love, which is unconditional? to direct that love towards Bhagavan is a great blessing. To have that is a very, very big blessing. And so what is that for? What do we need to do for that? What we need to do for that is just to surrender. That's all it is, to surrender and to understand that all this is Bhagavan. And so doing that itself is makes one a very very ready to see the order as Bhagavan, to see the whole universe as Bhagavan. And already shades of Advaita are coming. You see how it is? So everybody begins with Dvaita. There is nothing wrong with Dvaita. And you can remain in it all your life also. If that is what satisfies you, no problem. But we say, if you are ready to come a little further, you can see that that object of your adoration, that object of your ultimate love is nothing but the truth of yourself. That is what we say. So those two standpoints are there. We have the hermeneutic freedom, and then Advaita Vedanta is that which accommodates those two and transcends them also. So therefore, this is what so when that jnana, which is Atma Jnanam, self-knowledge, turns into nishtha, nitaram sthitihi, that is when the person is said to be established in the knowledge, one whose heart is sthapita. So the chetas, the heart is sthapita, and then that is what we are, that is what is called nididhyasanam. The first definition, there will be one more definition as we go along. So the first definition we encountered in 54, and then what is that? Ekatanatvam, ekatvatanatvam etadhi uchyate. What? Nididhyasanam iti uchyate. We saw that. And then, so what is this ekatanatvam also we saw? This one harmonious, unbroken understanding of what? Oneself as Ishvara. That is ekatanatvam. And so then this is nididhyasanam. So, but what we say nididhyasanam is, this is one definition. Of course, it's a correct definition, Shastric definition. In addition, the purpose of nididhyasanam is to attack or overcome, what is that? The viparita bhavana. Viparita bhavana nivritti. Nididhyasanam does not give knowledge. And then nididhyasanam does not even perfect the knowledge. Nididhyasanam, what does it do? It prevents and keeps at bay wrong associations. There are samskaras which are there after the knowledge. This is very important. See, this body was crafted when? Before the knowledge or after the knowledge? Before the knowledge. Were you born Ajnani or Jnani? Ajnani, definitely. So the body came by itself or it came along with the mind? Along with the mind. Did it come along with the emotions also? Yes. The whole accoutrement is there. And so just like as soon as you gain Atma Jnanam, does the body drop? No, thank God. Correct? Thank God the body is still there to enjoy after the Atma Jnanam self-knowledge. I understand I am Brahman and I am continuing to tell the tale, continuing to live after that. So who is this I who is living? The body, mind, sense complex persists. So supposing the weight of the Ajnani before Jnanam was 50 kgs, after Jnanam what is it? 50 kgs, yes. This is the only way to explain this particular point. After Jnanam, it's not that it reduces or it becomes 60 kgs. No, it will still be 50 kgs only. Before, and then that is the body. Now let us take the mind. Before Atma Jnanam, the person was a very meticulous kind of person. This has to be exactly like this. This has to be kept there. And I need a little inch tape to go 3 inches and then 3 inches here also. Everything must be just there. This flower arrangement is very nice, but this does not belong. And it must be neatly disposed of. Before Jnanam, I was like this. After Jnanam, same, it's not going to be. What is the difference? The difference is, before, if it was even slightly like this, I could not sleep, I could not eat until I corrected this. After Jnanam, I say this is not me. I'm able to let that be. I'm able to say that's okay, it's all right. And I'm able to watch and say, aha, I see this tendency coming up. So these are the habits. This is what it is. Those samskaras will continue after jnana. Otherwise, every jnani should be a clone of the guru. Correct? Does that happen? No. Personality continues, but the difference is it is badhita. Badhita means what? Sublated. Personality continues, but it is sublated when the person, Purusha as I, is recognized. Personality cannot suddenly drop, because then the body would also drop. Supposing the person was very forgetful before Atmajnana. Just forgetful means in a relative way. Left this there, left that there, forgot this, forgot that. After Jnanam, are they going to suddenly just have memory? No. They are going to be equally absent from their day-to-day life, or even the other way around. So, some samskaras, like these are all samskaras. These are all samskara based, upbringing based. South Indian jnani will go for idlis. Correct? Yeah. Where are the idlis? Yeah. North Indian jnani, what will he or she want? Yeah, chapatis, parathas, where are they? Yes. So like this, that's what they will want. And so, you can't say that means they have raga for idlis. They are not going to die if you don't give them idlis, but that preference is not gone anywhere. That preference was part of Prak arabdham karma. That is the long form of prarabdham. Prak means jnanat prak. Atmajnanat prak. So, and then before what else? Janmanah prak. Before the birth of this body, before the gain of Atmajnanam, whatever body was there, that is still there. And the body didn't come by itself and mind was left behind. Mind is also still there. And then raga, dvesha, small, whatever were there, they are not causing any trouble. They are well managed, but they are still there. And then along with that, along with the mind, the conscious mind, what comes? Unconscious. Where will the unconscious go? That is also there. Oh, jnani also has unconscious. You bet. Why does the jnani have unconscious mind? Because it is not jiva srishti. It is Ishvara srishti. The unconscious mind, which is a storehouse of unprocessed pains, sorrows, fears, is not jiva srishti. What is it? Ishvara srishti. Why did Ishvara make it like that? So that you can grow up without processing the pain when you did not know how to process the pain. A small child doesn't have the brains to process the pain, doesn't have the ability, doesn't have the kshamata. So it is sent to play school. It doesn't want to go. Day school, play school, so many things are there. And it's called KG. Why? Because it is sent even before the child weighs 1 kg. Go. And the parents will say, no, my child is very happy. It's not happy, it's pretending to be happy sometimes. Sometimes it may be happy, we don't know. But sometimes it knows this is what is expected. It goes on smiling and then grows up. And then later on, when there is enough capacity to handle the emotions, when the brain is developed, and when one is in a trusting relationships, all the unconscious comes out. That's why in every marriage there is a honeymoon period. Yeah. I will babysit your inner child, you babysit my inner child. After that, the honeymoon period ends. Means what? The whole unconscious not only comes out, but it is transference. There is transference and projection onto the loved one. There is a projection of that unconscious. It's your problem. You did this. How could you do this? And then what is that, What is this you? You don't even know me. How can you say I'm doing this? The other person will say. And then that is the time to look at this and resolve that for oneself. And so therefore, after jnanam, what happens? The unconsciousness, not unconsciousness, what am I saying? The unconscious mind will be there, but the jnani knows how to handle it because of jnana. The jnani knows how to not spread it over the whole universe. I am sad, I am sorrowful, here, take some prasad, okay? Let me just yell at everybody and make them also sad so that I'll have some morbid satisfaction, okay? At least I'm not sad alone. Misery loves company. I'm not saying that. So, therefore, the jnani knows how to handle it. So the jnani is not letting it all out and throwing up the unconscious on everybody. But what could it be? There could be some rankling, if there is some kind of a rankling feeling, some core issue. And that core issue, whatever it is, I am sad, I am subject to sadness, I am subject to loneliness, I am subject to whatever, will be what? Will be Atma or Anatma? Again it will be Anatma. It will be Viparita Bhavana. It will not be in keeping with the teaching. That is why Nididhyasanam is advised. Nididhyasanam, especially as one grows in clarity, is very much needed to ward off these kinds of identification with the small. And how to do this Nididhyasanam, we have seen in the meditation sessions where we repeat the teachings of the Upanishads after understanding them. And there are specific Upanishad shlokas for specific conditions. If one feels entangled in the world all the time, then asangaha aham, I am uninvolved, I am not part of this, I am not doing this. I am unconnected to this. And suppose there is a sense of lack, I am Purna, I am limitless. And supposing there is, some other feeling that I am given to change in moods, Samaha, I am Samaha. And then supposing I have a jiva attack, not that another jiva attacks me, I myself am the jiva who attacks me. I have so from Brahman what has happened? I have become temporarily jiva under the force of some difficult situation, usually because of some challenge. And then what do you say? Satchidanandoham, Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahmoham, Brahma Aham. And then what else? Aham Brahmasmi. So then the repeated contemplation, it's not just repeating the words, it is seeing the meaning, and seeing the meaning of what? Seeing the meaning of the Vakyas as the truth, as the definition of yourself. So first the Lakshana was to get Brahmajnanam, now the Lakshya is you. So the Lakshya, the words are not just to define some Brahman. That Brahman is you. This owning up is called Nididhyasanam iti uchyate. This is the other kind means it is recognized in the Shastra. The Mandukya Karika is full of this. It tells you how to not come under the spell of Viparita Bhavana. Like in meditation, when you are actually doing nididhyasana also, there could be jiva attack, there could be sorrow attack, because one is not accustomed to sitting with oneself without any aids or props. No music playing, nothing happening, just sitting, it's very difficult. And so, what will come? Sleep will come, or some thoughts will start to come. Our acharyas knew about all this. Laye sambodhayet chittam. So what does it say? Keep a glass of water next to the meditation. So that I can drink? No. Prakshalanam of the face can be done. Laye, so when sleep is overpowering, just go. Yeah. But how will I know if I am sleeping? How will I know to dip my hand in the cold water? Just the same way you know to shut off the alarm when you sleep. How do you just press the snooze button? Nobody wakes up. You keep the alarm with great ambition at 4:30, and then 4:30 the blessed thing rings. What do? Yeah. And with that same awareness, here you go like that and go like that. Laye sambodhayet chittam. Whenever sleep attacks, wake yourself up. Don't tell the person meditating next to you, please wake me up. That's not their job. Yeah. It's not their job. And besides here, it's nididhyasanam, you are doing it by yourself. Okay? That's what it is. It is post-jnana nididhyasanam. So you are doing it by yourself. You are not having a group of people to keep watch on you and then, if I am sleeping, please wake me up. No. So, okay. Vikshiptam cha punaha shamayet. Vikshiptam, vikshepa comes. Vikshepa, it can be something as mild as I am chanting the mantra and some other thought comes. It's a mild vikshepa. Happens all the time. Or I am saying Satchidanandoham. I am free. Muktoham. Nityaha aham. Shuddhaha aham. Buddhaha aham. I am repeating these, and then some other thoughts come, and then take me away from this mananam, nitidhyasanam, what have you. So then what has to be done? Again that alertness must be there to repeatedly shamayet, means do some upashamana to the content of the thoughts. You tell the thoughts, this is not the time for you to come. And if the thoughts are ugra means what? Fierce, intense. So if the thoughts are fierce and intense by nature, catching hold of the core issues from the unconscious, then again you have to sing them a lullaby right there and then, and say, not now, I'll take care of you later. This is what is called inner child work. No nididhyasanam can happen without inner child work. Absolutely not. What is this inner child work? All these feelings, core issues, whatever remain, even after gaining the clarity, they are like children because they cannot be reasoned with. They are there. But this was all before jnanam, before when you were a small child. So nobody can reason with the feelings. There is a feeling of loneliness. There is unexplainable, but it is there. There is a feeling of not being cared for. There is a feeling of being neglected. There is a feeling of not being included. There is a feeling of not being attended to. All these are there, and you cannot dismiss them as mithya unless you have done the internal inner child work. These are all like children. You have to be the adult. Usually what we do, we identify with the feelings. We are not able to watch the feelings separately. We identify with the feeling, oh, I am not included, I am not loved, oh, this person ticks me off, that person causes this. All this, one is not able to do this. But the ability to get some space, that's why they are called inner children. And they are a handful. That's why they are children. And children have what? Some power you don't have, lung power. And if they unleash that, there's nothing you can do. But you have to be the parent, means you have to have the distance between you and all these emotions in the form of inner children. So just as the mother, see, the mother knows the child is hungry or tired, it needs to go to sleep. But the child says, no, I want to play. Yes, I know you want to play. Okay, just come here, give me a hug. And then 3-4 times, put it on the shoulder and go like this, and the child is gone, fast asleep. Same thing you have to do to the inner child. You have to do it repeatedly with love, and then this inner child work is very, very effective, and then paves the way for successful assimilation of this knowledge and successful practice of nididhyasana. And that is, so that means being a parent. And what will the parent do? Be very patient. Be very patient, be very present, and make the child trust you. In the beginning, it will not trust. You are never there for me. You are like everybody. No, I'm going to be there. You wait and see. Yeah, right. No, I'm going to be there. I'm here. And then you slowly allow the child to tell whatever it wants to tell. Sometimes it may not want to say anything. Sometimes it may say something. And inner child work includes allowing the child to talk dispassionately. You just be the parent. Sometimes it helps to write with a non-dominant hand and see what the child has to say, and to then process this hurt. This is also part of nididhyasanam or pre-nididhyasanam. And then, how long should I do nididhyasanam? What should we answer for that question? Yeah? We should tell them it's a wrong question. Yeah. Because what does nididhyasanam give? Happiness. Because you are keeping on seeing the meaning of Brahman as you. Nididhyasanam gives ananda. If you are asked to wash all the dishes in the ashram, you should say, how long should I wash the dishes? When will the seva roster change? You can ask. But you are not being asked to do something unpleasant. This is something very pleasant. How long should I be happy? So does anybody ask that? No. So kalam naya nirantaram. Somewhere it is said, please spend all your time after jnanam doing what? Nididhyasanam. So that is nididhyasanam. Next, what does he do? Our writer, Panchadashi Ch, gets into the deep waters of the discussion of samadhi. Now, we have, the description of samadhi will be the same, but there is a very big difference between the purpose of samadhi in the Yoga Sutras, as given in the Yoga Sutras and as given in Vedanta Shastra. And in Vedanta Shastra, Yoga Sutras and Vedanta Shastra are kind of closely aligned. And then, so many Vedantins, including our writer, Panchadashi Ch, will emphasize the need for samadhi as a way of letting the kalmashas, what are kalmashas? Ragadveshas, go. As a way of ascertaining the teachings, as a way of establishing, being established rather in the teachings. So the Panchadashi Ch does this, but really speaking in Vedanta, samadhi can happen. It has the same definition as in the Yoga Sutra, but it is we don't really need it. And we'll see in the next couple of verses why is it that we don't need it. Because that samadhi is not a special experience, and if we start looking at samadhi as a special experience, then we have a problem. What is the problem? Only when I have the subject. What is the special experience? First of all, subject object dissolution. The dissolution of the subject object, so much so that I am not aware of myself as a subject. Why? Because there is no object. Usually I regard myself, how? I separate myself as, even if you say Sakshi, as long as there is Sakshya, object, I am Sakshi. But when the Sakshi itself resolves in the process of meditation, in the process of dhyana, nididhyasana, the resolution of the Sakshi is what? Can be there for 5 minutes or 5 hours. What's the difference? No difference. Because when you come back, what happens? Sakshi is there or not? Ragadveshas are there or not? Yes. So whether you enjoy nirvikalpa, for nirvikalpa is again no division between subject object. The cessation of the subject object division has no time. Really, it is timeless. It's happening in timelessness, but for the outside observer, let's say somebody was in samadhi for 3 minutes or 3 hours, it makes no difference. Why? From our standpoint, from the Vedanta standpoint, it makes no difference at all. And why does it not make a difference? Because when you come back, you are not transformed. However you were, the one who went into samadhi is the one who comes out of the samadhi. It's not that some other you went in and then some other person came out. No, same things. Same issues before and then same issues after. No difference at all. Always the same issues will be there, but look at it now, look at this now. Before jnanam and after jnanam, big difference. Okay? So therefore, jnanadevatu kaivalyam. So you don't need the experience of samadhi or going into samadhi in order to neutralize ragadveshas or in order to know what Brahman experience is like. Why? Because even the person wanting to go into samadhi is Brahman or not? Yes. The person coming out of samadhi is Brahman or not? Yes. No, but I want to experience content-free Brahman. Then what do I do for that? Go into samadhi. Then when you come out of the samadhi, what happens? Do you remember? No. You have to infer. This is exactly his point. You have to infer that you were in samadhi for whatever length of time. Somebody asked Pujya Swamiji, what is the difference between samadhi and sleep? What did he say? In one you snore, in the other you don't snore. That's the only difference. Mind is awake. That's all. And so, mind is awake to what? Nothing in particular. That is the idea. Okay, so with that, let us go to the next verse, 55. ध्यातृध्याने परित्यज्य क्रमाध्येयैकगोचरं ध्येय एकगोचरं क्रमाध्येयैकगोचरं निर्वातदीपवच्चित्तं समाधिरभिधीयते ध्यातृध्याने परित्यज्य क्रमाध्येयैकगोचरं निर्वातदीपवच्चित्तं समाधिरभिधीयते. Samadhi abhidhiyate. The abhidhanam of samadhi is given. The name, abhidhana, name. The name of samadhi is given. For what? When the dhyata, who is dhyata? Meditator, dhyatru. And when the dhyana Dhyana here is what? The meditation practice itself, sitting in a certain way, doing nama japa or whatever else one is doing, repeating the words of the Upanishad that one knows, etc. Dhyatra dhyane. So when that dhyata, who is dhyata? The meditator. When I, the meditator, and then the dhyana itself, the practice of the meditation, the awareness, I am sitting, I am chanting the mantra, etc. What happens? They drop. The mantra drops. First, experientially speaking, the mantra will just resolve in what will it resolve into? You. What else is there to resolve into? Everything resolves into what? Brahman. And then who is this Brahman? You sitting there are this Brahman. So the mantra first stops naturally, and then you have to check, am I asleep? Okay, yeah. So because when sleep comes also mantra stops, but here you know you are not asleep, mantra stops, and then what? It resolves into you, and then after that resolution, there is no you to speak of, because you were focused on what? Mantra. So you were relating to what? Mantra. Then the other side of that relationship, the mantra is swallowed, and then therefore you also are not an entity anymore. You are not a separate entity. Mantra gone, and you as a separate entity, that awareness also resolves into what? The same place where the mantra resolved. Is the same place that I awareness, the I thought also resolves. Don't say I resolves. The I does not resolve. What resolves? I am an individual, that I thought, iti, that I thought. This is explained beautifully in Ramana Maharshi's Saddarshanam, which we will study sometime. Very beautiful it is. So the I thought also resolves. We can't even say goes. It's not goes, it resolves. Same place. Well, what is that place? In the Adhishthana. What is the Adhishthana? Brahman, Atma. Because that's the only source of sentiency, that's the only place of understanding, that's the only place that is there. So in that, first the mantra or whatever one is repeating resolves, Upanishad mantra or any mantra given by Guru, etc., or the words of the Upanishad, first that resolves into who? Dhyatru, Dhyata. Then the Dhyata, I am Dhyata, that thought, that I thought as Dhyata, as meditator, also resolves into that same consciousness which was upkeeping them both and the difference between them. Understood? Yeah. So then what is left? In any meditation, there are three things. First is Dhyata, who? I. Then Dhyanam, the practice of meditation, the practice itself, mantra, etc. Then the object of meditation. Who is the object of meditation? Ishvara. This is, so this is Ishvara. So then the Dhyata and the Dhyana itself, both of them resolve into what? Ishvara, Dhyeya Vastu. Dhyana Yogyaha is Dhyeyaha. Dhyeya, that which is worthy of Dhyanam. So this is not here Nididhyasanam, this is, what is this? This is Dhyanam, being talked about, the kind of meditation we do here sometimes with Nama Japa. Japa resolves into the person, and the person as an individual also resolves into what? The object of the Japa, which is what? Ishvara. That's why the definition of Japa is what? Saguna Brahma Vishaye Vishaya Manasa Vyaparaha. Manasa Vyaparaha, mental activity. Oh, big deal. All the time I am having mental activity. In fact, I am thinking something bad about somebody right now. No, that is not Manasa Vyapara. That's why Saguna Brahma Vishaya. not Nirguna Brahma Vishaya. Sagunam Brahma Ishvara. Brahman with attributes is what? Ishvara, as though attributes. So Saguna Brahma Vishaya means that Ishvara with attributes is the object of adoration in mental prayer, which is this mental prayer is Manasa Vyapara. That's mental activity. Mental activity whose object is Bhagavan. This is also a karma. What kind of karma? Manasam karma, mental activity. What's the difference between doing puja? That is physical activity. Because you offer the flowers, you ring the bell, you participate. And then what else do we have in between? What do we do on Saturday nights? Verbal activity, chanting, etc. That is verbal activity, and then we have physicalized rituals, etc. Physical activity, and then we have mental activity. All of them are karma. All of them you get karma phala. Two kinds of results of action are gained. What is the first result? Drishta phalam, immediate result. Immediate result. After doing a big yajna, what is the immediate result? Exhaustion. Exhaustion, because you have collected the wood, you have collected all the dravyas, you have invited all the people, and you have made prasada, 100 different kinds of things. And then you have sat and offered, and you have been nervous, what wrong missteps I'll do, I will not get the phala, all this. After the yajna is finished, immediately you feel like going to bed. Drishta phalam, 0 with a slash in front of it. Yeah. Drishta phalam, very little. Yeah. Adrishtam, however, the invisible, so this is drishta phalam, immediately experienced result. And then adrishta means the invisible result that is kept in abeyance to be given to you at Bhagavan's will, because Bhagavan is the giver of the fruits of result. Not fair, I worked for it. Yes. Bhagavan, Ishvara is the giver of the fruits of action. So it will fructify. When? Asmin janmani, sometimes in this life, janmantare va, or in another life. Okay. So then we'll come to the next one. Vachikam karma. So you are doing bhajans, kirtans, chanting, mantras, parayana, Gita parayana. Oh, that little 15-minute class is giving me punya? You bet. Yeah. Gita parayana you are doing every day, it is also fetching some punya. How is it fetching punya? It is fetching punya because you could be sleeping, but you are doing this while others sleep. You see, it is giving punya. It is also having drishta phala and adrishta phala. What is the drishta phala? A certain joy when in the class you recognize, aha, this is not from the Upanishad, this is from the Bhagavad Gita. Shrutam iva bhavet. What is this? You know, it looks like it is heard somewhere. And then the more you do this, you see, this is somewhere in the beginning, it will come. This is somewhere in the middle. This is somewhere in the last shatka. That recognition will be there. Then chapter-wise recognition is there. This is what is called drishta phala. And then what is the adrishta? Little bit, yeah. Little bit, not too much. More, less than the kayikam karma. Kayikam karma, lots of adrishta, little bit or zero drishta, and then vachikam karma, adrishta is little more than kayikam karma, and little, so adrishta is little less than kayikam karma, and drishta phala is little more. Then we come to manasa japa, manasam karma. Then what is the drishta phalam? Maximum drishta phalam. Because when you see people coming out of meditation, nobody is going like this. Nobody is having that expression on the face. Everybody is coming down calmly. That there is a certain kind of calmness. And that is Drishtaphala, maximum Drishtaphala. But then what ayasa you did? You didn't even ring one bell. You didn't even clap your hands as in the Vachikam Karma. You just sat there. No effort at all. So no physical effort. So very little adrishta. Little bit punya will be there. Very little punya. That does not mean you should not attend the class tomorrow. Okay. So this is how it works. So here in the maximum Drishtaphala, some people think that the culmination of this Drishtaphala is in Samadhi. In Samadhau, this is what you find the culmination of this Drishtaphala, the experience of no subject, no object. So if there is no subject, how will the experience be recorded? How will it be recorded? Anumiyate. This is what he says. So let us look at the verse. So then, kramad dhyeya ekagocharam. Ekagocharam means only one destination. What is the one destination? Dhyeya vastu. What is dhyeya vastu? Ishvara, God, Bhagavan. So everything that is resolved in that one vastu only remains. Dhyeya vastu, which is what? You, which is vastu, which is you, which is consciousness, which is Bhagavan, which is Jiva, which is Ishvara, which is the truth of Jiva and Ishvara both. That Dhyeya vastu alone remains. Gocharam means directed towards that alone, the awareness remains. And the example is given from the Bhagavad Gita, which he is going to then talk about a little more again in verse 58. And then what is that? Nirvata deepavat chittam. Chittam, the emotions, the emotional component of the mind. Chittam, what happens to it? Nirvata deepavat. Don't say windless lamp. Windless lamp means there will not be any lamp, okay? Yeah. Because lamp needs wind. Breezeless lamp. That's a better translation. There is no breeze. If the breeze comes, the lamp goes. But then sometimes they put one cover over it, some glass cover, and there is a hole on top. The air comes. Don't say airless lamp. Air is needed. Oxygen is needed for the fire to be there. But then in the breeze, what happens? The flame is shaking. And when you put that glass cover, then with the top open, then the flame is steady. So one's awareness is unqualified by what? Unqualified by I thought and this thought. There is neither idam pratyaya gochara or aham pratyaya gochara. There is only dhyeya gochara, means there is only what is that? There is only consciousness. And that consciousness is me. Even that is not registered, because that me itself is not there as a separate thing. And then what happens is this is called samadhihi abhidhiyate. This is what is called the experience of samadhi with the subject-object resolution. Then mind you again, this is not the experience of samadhi. It may be helpful because you understand, I am neither the subject nor the object. You understand it experientially, and so there is some kind of a currency for samadhi, and it is emphasized. The experience is emphasized. But again, here that is not the goal. That is not the goal. We don't end at samadhi. We say what is the truth of the samadhi, because one actually once one has this knowledge, there is all the time samadhi. This is said in the Drigdrishya Viveka. Yatra yatra mano yati tatra tatra samadhayah. It's a two-step recognition. So first, yatra yatra mano yati tatra tatra tava pada pankajam. Wherever the mind goes, what is there at the end? Your lotus feet. We are addressing Bhagavan. Wherever the mind goes, let me just visualize your lotus feet. This is what we say. The samadhi itself is divided into two kinds. Drishya, Anuviddha, Savikalpa. So first two kinds, Savikalpa Samadhi and Nirvikalpa Samadhi. What is being described here is Nirvikalpa Samadhi, where the divisions are gone. Then the Savikalpa Samadhi, where the divisions remain but they are Ishvarized, and then because of the Ishvarization, a resolution takes place. That is called Savikalpa Samadhi, and that itself is divided into two. What is that? Shabdanuviddha Savikalpa Samadhi, and then Drishyanuviddha Savikalpa Samadhi. What is Shabdanuviddha Savikalpa Samadhi? Where the words of the Shastra or any words where words, sounds, etc. are used to see each and every word, each and every sound as Brahman. That is what is called Shabdanuviddha Savikalpa Samadhi. Then Drishyanuviddha Savikalpa Samadhi. Anuviddha means connected to. So connected to Drishya. So you see something, you see the tree, and then you see what is the truth of the tree. And truth of the tree is Brahman. I am also the truth of me is Brahman. Everything that is here in the Jagat is Brahman. So before that you can say everything that is here is Ishvara. You Ishvarize everything, and that is also a certain oneness, that is also Samadhi, and then that is called Drishyanuviddha Savikalpa Samadhi. Then this Shabdanuviddha Savikalpa Samadhi and Drishyanuviddha Savikalpa Samadhi is further divided into two. Antaram and Bahyam. Bahya means with the help of external sounds and sights and words, and then Antara means what? Inwards, where you yourself are generating the sights and sounds and visualization and words. So this way, these are the regular samadhis that we talk about. And then what Patanjali's Yoga Sutra talks about is where there is no subject object, asamprajnata samadhi. Asamprajnata samadhi. It's in the Samadhi Pada itself, in the first chapter itself. 15th or 16th mantra is there that describes this asamprajnata samadhi, where exactly what is said in the verse number 55, top line is talked about, where there is nothing other than consciousness. There is nothing other than consciousness, and only that is focused upon. Focused upon is also not right to say, because there is no focuser. But that is all that remains. That awareness alone remains, and then and again, when there is a sound or a noise that brings me out of the awareness, the next verse is going to say that awareness anumiyate is inferred. Okay, I was out for this amount of time and now I am back. More we'll see tomorrow. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om.